Hi, my name is Dan Van Stralen, and for the past 8 years I've been living off-grid and overlanding full-time with my family. But with everywhere I've been, our little island in the wilderness is my favorite place on earth. We are surrounded by endless forests which are home to majestic moose, deer, black bear, and wolves. My dream is to one day buy a piece of land in the wilderness and start my own homestead. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have another beautiful sunny day here in paradise at the island, and I've just been taking the past couple days off from the project to spend time with some of my family that came up. My Uncle Keith and Aunt Caitlin and their 2 little kids, as well as my sister Caroline came up for a while with my cousin Sylvia, and we've just been spending some family time together. It was also my birthday recently, so we did a little celebration for that as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, now you have to press the button. Yep. Gigi will probably. Oh, good. Okay. Now roll it up.
Deep right up first.
Really?
You gotta keep
Okay,
it away
for
from
this
this.
one. Okay, this way.
Yeah.
That one.
Right. That'll be fun.
Nice seeing you, Dan.
Yeah, see you, Dan. Happy birthday, Dan.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Say happy birthday, Dan. It's chickens. Okay.
And we've just been enjoying these sunny days. It's been feeling like summer for the past week here, and seems like that might be continuing on for a little bit longer, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with them, and now I'm going to start working a little bit on my project. My Uncle Keith and his family left this morning, and Sylvia and Caroline will be here for the rest of the day. So they're off canoeing right now, doing their own little adventure. So while they're doing that, I'm gonna start digging out the floor a bit more, and then I'll spend a bit more time with them tonight, and we'll continue on working in the morning. So yeah, first things first, I'm gonna get the floor dug out as much as possible. That's gonna take a while just because it's such a dense ground. As you guys saw before, there's a wooden floor that's covering it, and on top of that there's all the shingles and moss and just decomposed wood from the roof I just took off, and then who knows what's under that, because I don't think that the wooden floor that was there is the original floor when it was built. I feel like that's something they more would have added on top of the floor once the cabin kind of settled down a bit. So yeah, who knows what we'll find. Knowing the ground here, it's probably a lot of clay, which makes it difficult to dig up, but let's just get at it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so before I get to working on the floor, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this cabin. A lot of you guys commented asking why I wouldn't just completely demo it and then build a new one here, which probably would be a lot easier than trying to restore it. Well, this cabin was built back in the 40s, and it's just a very neat piece of history. It's been here for so long, and you know, the thing about this island is most of, if not all, the cabins were built in the 40s in a really unique style, and I want to keep it as natural as possible, exactly how it was, if I can. So I would much rather salvage as much of this as I can and then just rebuild onto it than completely start anew, because that'd be, you know, kind of the whole point of rebuilding this in the first place. I don't need a storage shed right now. One would be amazing and really helpful, but if I wasn't going to try and repair what was already here, I would have just left what was here and kept it as original as possible. So that being said, a lot of these logs were rotten. What's left here is all still good lumber in the front and part of the side and this whole sidewall. So all I really need to do is build up the back and part of this wall up to this level, and then everything up from there will be new log. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more work than if I was just building a brand new one, but I think it's definitely worth doing just to keep this little bit of history alive. This is like perfect mulch. Some sort of piece of metal. Ooh, that's heavy. Huh. What the? Wow, that is heavy. It's like a bar of some sort of metal. What if it was gold? Not exactly sure what it is. It looks like there might be a slight hole in the top. Goes through the bottom, but it's in a very bar shape. It's almost looks like lead, maybe. Yeah, might be lead, judging by how easily it's scraped. Take a look at this. See, right here is where I scraped, and that's where the original strike from my shovel hit. But yeah, must be lead. I wonder what this was. If maybe it was just a bar of lead that they would melt down and use for stuff, or if this was part of something. Well, I'll take a look at it a bit later. For now, I'm just going to keep on digging. It's definitely lead by my guess, and the more I look at its shape, I'm guessing this is probably a counterweight for a scale. But let me know in the comments what you guys think this is and what I should do with this like 4 pounds of lead. Well guys, after thinking about it for a while, I think that a lot of your comments might have been right, and I should probably take apart the entire structure. After I've marked each log, I'll probably mark them like, you know, L1 starting from the bottom up, and then F1 and, you know, R1 to mark where the logs were, like on what side of the cabin, and then also what position they had. And then fully just deconstruct it, pile up the logs, that way I can really see what can be used and what can't. And also, the main reason I'd be doing that is after inspecting the very bottom logs a little bit better, they're basically soil. So I could make the best structure known to man on top of this, but if the foundations aren't good, the whole thing's not going to last very long. So yeah, I'm going to take everything apart, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a pretty big challenge, but I think it will be perfect practice for when I start my own homestead and have to, you know, build from the ground up. So yeah, I'm going to take this all apart, hopefully today. I don't know how these are put together, if they're spiked or if they're just notched. I'm assuming, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's spikes or nails going through along them, but you know, I'm almost certain that there's got to be spikes going through the cross braces. Either way, shouldn't be too hard. And then once we get all those out of the way, I'll dig out a foundation and probably use a mix of sand and gravel for the bottom. Or, you know what, I'll probably use bigger rocks that I'll collect around the base and then fill it in with gravel, and maybe put like a plank of wood on the bottom of each, green treated or something that won't rot, and then build on top of that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. This whole project took a pretty big turn, but I think it's for the best. The structure will be more structurally sound. It will look a lot better. It'll probably, like, it might take a bit longer, but it will be easier to do than trying to cross notch these and lay other logs and mend broken ones and stuff like that. And the whole thing will just be a lot more sturdy. So yeah, we'll get started on that. Starting with the roof. I think the best way, I can see that I tried prying this part off, and there are nails going through, but I feel like if I can pry that up high enough that I'll be able to just tilt the whole thing over, and then I'll mark all the other logs. These ones don't matter because they're getting removed anyways. So yeah, let's get right into it. It's going to be a fun but difficult project. I think we're up for it though. I'm going to mark all of the logs in that same way I just told you. I'm not sure how many of these logs I'm going to use, if any, especially on this side. I'm definitely going to keep all the ones on the front and most of the ones on the right side, but I'm going to mark them all just to be safe, in case I do end up using any of these. I know exactly where they were and where they would go back. And I only have this orange paint, don't know how well it's going to mark, but we'll see how it goes. This would be the left side, so it'd do, does this work? There we go. L. And this would be log 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that works. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we can go 7. And then none of those are going to be used. So this is the marking method I'm going to be using, just L1 through 10 on most of these. On this side it's going to be to 7. In all reality, I'll probably just be using L3 and L2. Here on the front, For these smaller ones, I might have to do like FL and FR, just so I know which side. Probably doesn't matter, but we'll just be safe and do it that way. And then for these, it'll just be FM1, FM2, FM3, meaning main support. So here we go, FL. FM1. Some of you guys might be, worried about me painting over these, but that doesn't matter at all, because right now there's a thin, crusty layer of brown paint over top, and what's under is really rough. I'm going to be sanding down all these logs and then re-priming and painting them. So when I sand them down, all this paint will come off and you won't see it, and then it'll be painted over. So it really doesn't matter. All right, now we can start dismantling all the logs. It'd be easier to pry this off in sections, since this side's loose, and then there's so much weight as I'm lifting up on that side that it pushes those back in, and vice versa. So I think I'll cut this in half and pry it off in chunks. Well guys, as you can probably see here beside me, there is a baby snapping turtle. I just found him perched up on this little rock stair, enjoying the view, or maybe the beautiful sunshine we have today. But this is a pretty rare sight. It's not too common that we see snapping turtles up here, let alone brand new hatched ones like this guy. And snapping turtles are truly beautiful creatures. I mean, they can live a very long time. I believe they can live up to 200 years old, but I mean, it might be 80 years, I'm not sure. Either way, very, very long time. And they almost look like dinosaurs, especially their claws and their spiny tails, but then also the shape of their shells and kind of the texture almost looks prehistoric. And they can get extremely big, like massive things. You see them swimming around every once in a while. And yeah, just magnificent creatures. It was pretty nice to see this little guy. It's all black and just beautiful. So I'm going to leave him, let him enjoy whatever he's doing, and we'll continue taking that roof off. See you around, little buddy. That part of the roof is off. Wow. That came off a little bit easier than I thought. Yeah, none of these logs are going to be usable. They're a little bit rotten. Probably the same with the other side, and they're really short. But once this is off, I can start taking off all the other logs. So that's a good start. The way they partially insulated this cabin is pretty interesting. They used wooden wedges like this, and with almost like burlap inside. It got the job done, but it was by no means completely like weatherproof or bug resistant. There's tons of gaps everywhere, but it's what you need for a storage shed. I might use the same technique, but I think I'll go for something a little more weatherproof when I rebuild this. Must be the case. The problem is the log under it, which is an actual notched log, because the one up here is just nailed, is better attached, or is less attached than the top one is to this one. So when I try and pry this one, it's just pulling this one off. So I think I might take off that side of the wall and then pry them both off together, and it'll be easier to take them off of each other once they're on the ground. Could keep these, reuse them. Yep. Well, that is really good to know. That means they didn't spike the corners, which means I'll be able to take this apart a lot easier than I initially thought. All right, let's just tip this over. There we go. I just need to find a good spot to store these logs for now. Probably just over next to my cabin. See? Weird, I thought they would have been drier by now.
Yeah. Made of solid wood.
Yeah, it's only been 50 years.
That's what I'm...
Just lay it here. So, 3, 2, 1. That's 1.
That's neat.
Or 2, I guess.
They, it's definitely not like the cabins they were living in. It's more just roughly done.
Well, they would cut a triangle on the logs that go on top, and then they would shave and chisel out, so they just kind of fit on each other. It wasn't a tight fit, obviously, but it definitely worked.
Yeah. Lasted over 80 years.
Well, just put this brace on before I thought of taking it apart, or before I decided on taking it apart. And now we're going to take it off. As I'm doing this, I'm just thinking of what the end product could look like, and I think this is definitely the best route. I'll just make it, instead of just having a decent shed that was easier to build, we could potentially have a great little bunkhouse or blacksmith's forge, or just a really weatherproof storage shed instead. So it's definitely worth it. And also I'll get lots of practice, which I definitely need. logs are a lot heavier than I thought they would be. This one, unfortunately. Yeah. That wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Okay. Well, this one's nailed on. So we'll have to take this door frame out first before we can get that log off. Well guys, as the sun started setting, I had to take off my sweater because it got really hot, but also put on this bug net because they're really swarming right now, and it's pretty hard to work carrying heavy logs when you have bugs flying all around your face. You can't take away one of your arms to swipe at them, so this will definitely help a lot with workflow. Moving these logs around makes me happy because I can see that they are very strong. These ones, compared to the walls on the side of the cabin, are rock solid, which is really nice. A big tree. Well guys, we made a lot of progress today. The sun's about to set pretty soon here, and the bugs are pretty vicious, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Try and find a breezy boat or something to escape the bugs for a bit, and in the morning we'll stack up the logs we just dismantled and finish off the last few ones that are still in place there. And then, you know, next time we'll just start digging out the whole area and working on a foundation, which is pretty exciting. I think I'm also going to try and source some logs earlier than later, so then I can let them dry as much as possible so they're easier to move around. So yeah, lots of progress was made, and you know, we got a lot of really fun things coming up soon, so I'll see you guys in the morning.
It's kind of random though. It looks just sporadic.
I know.
Oh, my ear got bit.
Well guys, as you can see, we got most of the cabin down. All that's left is FL4, FR3, and then, you know, L1 through 4 to take down. All the usable logs are nice and stacked up over there. And then we'll stack the rest of the usable ones, these front ones and these two side ones over there as well. Probably get rid of those. And then, see all these bugs? It isn't fun. Whew. Tell it's bug season starting pretty soon here. But yeah, awesome progress. Next time I see you guys, we'll completely get this down and start working on the foundation, which is pretty exciting. The foundation is quite literally the foundation of this whole project. So can't wait to start working on that. Thank you guys for your comments and suggestions. One of them was this, which I'm glad I started. I think this is gonna be a lot better than my original plan. And yeah, well, as always, thank you guys for watching this week's video. A special thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my Patreon channel. If you guys are interested in watching and seeing more videos and just following along with this project and my future dreams of one day having my own homestead and building my own homestead, then make sure to check out my Patreon account. The link will be in the bio. And also consider subscribing. That really helps a lot. So, as always, I'll see you guys next week.